Hello, EKN Nation. Welcome to a new edition of the EKN OutLap as we kick off our coverage of this coming weekend Superkarts USA Pro Tour SummerNationals, final event of the 2026 Pro Tour, capping things off at Newcastle, as has been the tradition. Getting set to go here. Episode 109 of the EKN OutLap, July 21st, 2026. My name is Rob Howden, joined by David Cole. And as we do, we'll kick things off by talking about our presenting sponsor of today's podcast, AIM Sports. From its early days, AIM Sports has tailored its innovations to provide precise insights, allowing racers to fine-tune their strategies and push their limits. Fast forward to today, and they are excited to celebrate over 30 years of Micron by introducing the latest evolution in karting data loggers, the Micron 6. Designed with cutting-edge features, including 25 Hz GPS with mil-spec precision, a 6-axis inertial platform, shift lights and alarms, temperature inputs, and many more features. It's perfect for karting enthusiasts looking to enhance their game on the track. Join the AIM Sports community today and equip yourself with the Micron 6 to take your karting experience to the next level. Visit aimsports.com to learn more. AIM Sports, 30 years of Micron. All right, David Cole, let's roll into this here. It's Tuesday. We're a couple days away from making the trek down to Newcastle Motorsports Park to cap off this year's Superkarts USA Pro Tour.
That we are, Rob. We're heading to Newcastle again, as we typically do. And it's the, 12th time we're going there for the SummerNationals. So it's been it's the official home. Let's just call it that way of the SummerNationals. And
Agreed.
Again, rounds 5 and 6 of the championship program for all the categories except Pro Shifter having their third round there this weekend. I didn't check the weather except for last night when I wrote the script, or I think I wrote it yesterday. Doesn't look like we're going to have any precipitation at all weekend long.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at it as well. It was kind of there for Sunday. It looks like it's pushed off, maybe potential for Monday. But yeah, from what I'm seeing, we're going to be in the, on the high 70s, low 80s kind of a thing, maybe a little bit warmer. It's going to get warmer and warmer throughout the weekend with potential high of like 85 or 86 on Sunday. But yeah, David, simple fact, if we have no rain, we can go racing, put the hammer down and find out who comes out as champions.
Yeah, not too hot. That's the key point.
Not in the 90s.
We've been there before where the humidity is like 150% and
crazy.
And the temperatures in the 90s, and it's just disgusting. So this should be a pretty comfortable weekend weather-wise at Newcastle.
Let's take it. Let's dive into the event notes right now as well. They'll run the 1 mile layout, David, the National. They're going to run the Monza. Is that the call for this weekend?
Yeah, national layout plus the Monza or shark fin, whichever you want to call it, in the counterclockwise direction. So the normal direction, normal layout plus Monza. And first time they're ever going with this layout. We've done so many different layouts in the 12 years of going to the SummerNationals with the ski jumps and backwards. And we did backwards with shark fin and Monza. Mm-hmm. I want to say last year, I think we just did national layout, if I recall correctly. And now this year,
I wasn't there last year, but I believe I watched some coverage, and yes, I believe it was that.
And so, going back to the national layout, but adding in the Monza. So somewhat cup carts, but going full national with the Monza.
Yeah, it should be interesting for sure. First time they've done that. We all know that this track itself has been around for 23 years now. The Dismore family owns the facility, and it has hosted so many massive events, really a core racetrack for the national series on the East Coast. No doubt about that. 12th time, David has says, for Newcastle hosting the SummerNationals. It has become the official home of the final round of the Pro Tour. David, let's walk us through the event schedule here right now as we get set to get down to Newcastle.
Unofficial practice is on Thursday. That'll be run by Newcastle Motorsports Park and utilized by a lot of the drivers, obviously, as we've seen in previous events. Friday is the official sessions begin. 5 rounds of practice. You have 3 7-minute sessions followed by a 12-minute session. And then the last and 5th and final session will be 7 minutes, and that'll be, quote unquote, the happy hour. But I don't think we're going to see any really major splits. looking at the numbers, we don't have any last chance qualifiers, none of that. So everybody's all going through. So basically, just they do, I think, spread them out to maybe 3 qualifying groups. So I think that's the reasoning, again, still for the happy hour program on Friday. Round 5 will be on Saturday. Warm up, qualifying, pre-final, and finals. Pre-finals will be 8 laps, 16 laps for the finals. Cadet divisions will be 7 laps pre-final, 14 for cadet. They'll repeat that for round 6 on Sunday. Pro shifter format wise, warm up on Saturday to begin qualifying, going into the Super Bowl session, and then 2 heat races on the day. Each of those will be 8 laps long, and then we'll go into Sunday action, which will be warm up, a 12-lap pre-final, and then a 20-lap main event action.
There you go. And those main events obviously capping things off of this year's Superkarts USA Pro Tour. Off to our first break here on this edition of the OutLap Preview Podcast. When we come back, we'll give you our first look at the entry list by the numbers up next. Winning takes top quality equipment, flawless preparation, experienced coaching, and passion. And at Team GFC, we live our passion. Developed by American karting champion Gary Carlton, the GFC chassis has become one of the newest brands to reach the top of the podium in North America. GFC has garnered victories and championships at all levels of the sport since its debut at the end of 2018. Shifter car drivers are at the front of the field in the GT14 frame, with the SS31 a consistent contender in tag and 100cc competition. Team GFC has arrive and drive packages available for all categories, including the mini and micro classes utilizing the GFC RR5 cadet chassis. These young pilots have the opportunity to be part of the Team GFC Young Driver Development Program. Learn from one of the best American karters with 28 years racing at the highest levels of the sport, offering personalized training on and off the track. Follow GFC Karting on Facebook and Instagram, or click over to gfckarting.com to learn more about joining Team GFC. GFC, live your passion. In racing, experience is priceless. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry, and with over 30 years of combined karting experience, we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. Check out our online store at franklinkart.com, where all of our products are just a mouse click away. We continue to add to our growing product selection on the online store, and we ship daily to ensure products get to you quickly. We specialize in IAME engines, tilt seats, the ceramic product line, driveline branded products, Briggs & Stratton engines, smoker performance sprockets, OTK products, AIM, MG tires, and of course, the championship-winning Merlin chassis. In our online store, you'll find a variety of items to fill your karting needs. Franklin Motorsports is also known for our wide variety of services and is home to Innovative Engine Works by FMS, our in-house engine service department. Frame straightening, kart prep, and dyno testing are all services offered regularly at Franklin Motorsports. Be sure to stop by the Franklin trailer during the United States Pro Kart Series events as the official trackside vendor. For all things karting, visit franklinkart.com. Welcome back to the EKN OutLap, kicking off our EKN Trackside coverage for this coming weekend's SCUSA Pro Tour Summer Nationals down at Newcastle Motorsports Park. Rob Howden alongside David Cole here. David, let's have a look at the by the numbers based on what we're seeing here coming into the weekend. Just over 200 entries, 206 entries. It's probably the smallest Summer Nats that SCUSA has had in the last little while. It's again, we're seeing some downturn in the numbers across the board. Same goes here for the final round of the Pro Tour.
Rob, the continuing theme is a lot of racing, and that's what we have in 2026. That's something we talked about before we got even into the schedule. And now we're in the second half of the schedule. it's summertime. People are doing a lot more things than racing, and I think that's part of it. I mean, the biggest drop off that you can see is in K100 Senior. We go from 47 in Tucson, only down to 35 at MCC, but down to 29, where this has been the largest category at the Pro Tour probably for the last 3 to 4 years. And now it's ranked fourth behind KA Junior, behind X30 Pro, and Pro Shifter, leading the way with the most entries of the weekend.
Yeah, Pro Shifter at 35 entries, actually up one from the Spring Nationals.
What does that tell you, Rob? Less is more.
Less is more.
I continue to say this. Like,
I know.
These micro drivers, these mini drivers, these junior drivers have been racing nonstop since January. Every kind of event you could think of. National, local, regional, whatever. Now it comes to July, they're like, oh my God, I've been at the racetrack for 30 weekends straight. Maybe I should go to the beach.
Right. Maybe we'll just sit by the pool this weekend.
You know, I'm instead of the beach, I'm here recording this right now because I'm technically on a vacation type day. So
yes, you are at the beach right now in a cottage, hammering down still. I understand that. That's crazy.
But it's just, again, less is more like that. You know, obviously the Pro Shifters got some momentum with, again, the names that we're going to talk about in the preview. Again, a phenomenal driver list, but just the fact that they're only racing Pro Tour. Like, some of them are doing Star, some of them are doing USPKS. But again, the less you're racing, the more opportunity to get together and have these massive events. And I think that's where we're hurting the sport right now.
It's again, we know there's a lot of different organizations that are, have their 3-4 race national programs. And again, it's a lot for everybody. The teams will tell you that, the drivers, the families, the crews, there's a lot going on. There's so many organizations banging out events. It's nonstop, as David had said. Again, 206 entries. There was 214 at Spring Nats, so down by 8. If they get a couple of walk-ups, it'll be close to the Spring Nats. So nothing horrible. But again, Winter Nats was 259 to start things off. Higher numbers in the Summer Nats over the last couple of years. So the lowest event so far: 26 drivers in Micro Swift, only 20 in the Mini Swift category, 26 in Junior. The KA Junior, as David had said, at 33. Just the 4 KA 100 Masters. This has to be the end of Masters racing on the Pro Tour, I would think. KA Senior at 29, as David had mentioned. 33 drivers in Pro X30, a big bump, actually. 8 more Pro X30 drivers from MCC. And as David said, the biggest category, up one from MCC, 35 drivers in Pro Shifter. Yeah,
and again, just the number-wise, you look at it, it's very similar to what we saw at the Spring Nats. So again, like you said, not too big of a drop-off. You get a little bump in a couple of the categories, so that's a positive. You have that big drop in KA Senior. I was just going to say something now. I totally forgot.
You see if it'll pop back into you. It's a sport-wide issue right now. Not issue or trend. I don't say call it an issue, call it a trend. We're still over 200 entries. Yeah. But yeah, that's a big issue for sure. Dave?
Yeah, the master side. That's what I was going to talk about, because we haven't talked yet about the master shifter being removed from the Super Nationals. Agreed. But yeah, this is going to be it for Masters racing on the Pro Tour. I do not see it coming back. This is the last hurrah. We will not see it in 2027. With no master shifter at the Super Nats, only 4 KA Masters here this weekend. It's done. And it's the evolution of sport. We talked about that at the beginning of the year, how this was going to be a defining year in the sport. And this is one of them. And again, we haven't had the time to put the roundtable together. There's not going to be obviously any Masters drivers at Summer Nats to really talk about it with, but again, it's just the evolution of the sport. You look at drivers over the age of 30 are just not out there racing. They're either doing something with their kids or not involved in the sport at all.
Or David, as you said, they're just racing less because the Stars Championship, they've got a groundswell. Paul Montopoli and John Bonanno, those guys are on the internet. They're pushing it. They're talking to people. And Masters drivers, numbers breed numbers. We've talked a lot about it. Yeah. Those guys are working hard, and they're getting big numbers at the Stars Championship program for Masters, right? That's where they're racing right now.
Yeah, that's it. It's selection. That's the biggest part of it in terms of that. So, just again, a strange season thus far in
No
2026.
doubt. No doubt. A dip in numbers, and we're seeing different people racing different places for sure. There you go. 206 pre-registered drivers for this coming weekend SummerNationals at the Pro Tour. I always expect a few walk-ups, especially at Newcastle. So they may get themselves back up to where we were for the Spring Nats at 214, but otherwise, quite possibility that this will be the smallest Pro Tour race we've had in the last number of years. Off to our next break. When we get back, we'll go class by class. We'll start things off with Pro Shifter and Pro X30. Wins at the sport's biggest races, as well as championships across all levels of karting, pack the resume for Nitro Kart. The Nitro Kart brand has made its statement as the best, fastest, and most reliable cadet chassis on the North American karting market. If you want to win in cadet, both in 2-cycle and 4-cycle competition, get a Nitro Kart and join the team. Team Nitro Kart will be at all major events. Trackside with Ryan Perry Motorsport, the official race team. Owner Ryan Perry and his RPM operation carries the full selection of Nitro Kart chassis and parts, while also providing the same driver development focus as Nitro Kart owner Nick Tucker. You can also join the Team Nitro Kart race team at all major 4-cycle races this season. Led by longtime Nitro Kart tuner Cody Johnson, Team Nitro Kart will be at all the major Cup Karts North America events with arrive and drive opportunities available for all ages. Nitro Motorsports is a true karts-to-karts driver development program that is already gaining success after launching in 2022. Victories and championships in the Trans Am Series has highlighted the team's start, along with the success in the new GR Cup by Toyota. Current and former karters can take advantage of this unique ladder system with Nitro Kart and Nitro Motorsports. Visit Nitro Kart online and find them on social media. Nitro Kart, race one or chase one. Klotz Lubricants has a long history in the sport of karting, with over 60 years of developing products for the motorsports industry. A new product introduced by Klotz combines its technology with the knowledge and experience of one of the sport's legends, Lynn Haddock. The new Haddock Special Formula 2-stroke engine oil is blended at the Klotz facility in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The blend uses a formula that Lynn developed and refined throughout years of racetrack testing. The 2-stroke engine oil is designed specifically for karting engines, using a proprietary blend of synthetic and castor-based oils. The synthetic-based oils provide wear protection at low temperatures, and the castor-based oils provide wear protection at high temperatures and high RPMs. The fluid is anodized to mitigate corrosion and deposit formation and can be mixed with either gasoline or methanol. The new Haddock Special Formula from Klotz is available now through the KlotzLube.com website and will be coming to many kart shops across the country in the near future. Klotz and the Haddock Special Formula, bringing together decades of experience to the karting industry. Welcome back to episode number 109 of the EKN OutLap, our initial show here to start off our EKN Trackside coverage of this coming weekend's SCUSA SummerNationals at Newcastle Motorsports Park. Let's dive into the Pro Shifter category, which is presented by PSL Karting. 35 entries, as we talked about, and by the numbers, a fantastic field. Lots of good drivers to talk about here as well. Thus far, Mateus Morgado has been the driver coming out of the gate, David, with a couple of wins. He leads the championship points over Danny Formal by 42.5 points. Marion Kremers is there as well. Jay Irwin and Billy Musgrave cap off your top 5. David, when you look at the entry lists, what stands out for you?
Looking at the list, obviously we're going to have that fight to be in the top 10 of the championship standings, because they do get a free the Pro Tour top 10 go to champions. It's not, I can't remember what they call it. It's not the Circle of Champions, but they get their entry for the following season. So to be in the top 10 of the championship is going to be kind of a thing to look at.
That bubble spot. Yeah. The last guy to sneak into 10th. Yeah.
So, right now we don't have Massimo Valiante on the entry list, which I don't believe they're going to be there. So that bumps up Justin White to the 10th spot without Valiante there, which he's closely hounded by Gage Corn or Hunter Pickett and a few other drivers. So that 10th spot I know that's something that Kart Chaser focuses on. I think that's going to be something to kind of follow throughout the weekend. Obviously, the championship fight's going to be tremendous with Morgado, after winning 2 main events, is still only leading by 42 points over Formal, or 42 and a half, pardon me. So anything can happen there. And this is a place where Formal won at last year in his first victory with GFC Karting and SweetTech. So he knows this racetrack, loves it very much, and can win. Morgado, I don't believe has actually ever won a Pro Tour race there, because in 2024, it was Musgrave scoring the victory that year. And Musgrave, unfortunately, out of the championship there, sitting in 5th as he had that DQ by not pulling in with a meatball flag at MCC. So he's sitting there in 5th. So essentially, it's a 4-driver battle for the championship with Morgado, Formal, Martin Kremers, and Jay Irwin on the outside looking in. 129 points back there in 4th. He's going to need some help. He's going to need, kind of what he had happen to him last year with Morgado having difficulties, Formal having difficulties, and Kremers having issues as well. So, again, a perfect weekend for Irwin would be the positive. That's what you kind of want to see. Yep. That's something we haven't seen is a champion win at the Summer Nationals in quite some time.
Yeah, Irwin had the issues, as David had mentioned before. He'll need everything he possibly can. It's one of the things, David, about the points, the way they do the point system. Every session is going to count for every driver. Formal, Kremers, they need to sweep the weekend as well. Morgado could more in the catbird seat. He can kind of be smart if he wants to win a championship, but still wide open in terms of the top 3 drivers ready to battle it out, which I love. Yeah. Let's see who wins this title. Let's go out and win it, right?
Yeah,
I like to see that.
And it's funny, looking back to 2019 at the Summer Nationals, the different winners, AJ Myers has 6 wins at Newcastle in that time span. So don't put him out to pasture yet. I know he's had a very difficult 2026 DNFs, both at Tucson and at MCC, but don't put him out to pasture. But yeah, Formal, Musgrave, the last 2 winners. Myers was a double up back in 2023. That was, I believe, the second year that Kremers won the championship. So that was that year of the basically 5 points separating the top 3 in the championship that year. So quite interesting. So yeah, don't put him out to pasture yet. It's going to be quite interesting how everything kind of unfolds. News-wise in the field, Vincenzo Cerencino moving over from PSL Karting over to Velocity Racing on the SodiKart brand. He's sitting there 6th in the championship. We don't have Gavin Bailiff on the entry list, but he is going to be racing. Okay. Contacted him. So actually, we're going to have 36 drivers in the field. So it'll maybe get to 40. I don't know if we'll have any walk-ups in this category, but that's not sure where we're going to get on that. Looking at some of the newer drivers. Oh, I forgot to write it down, but I just saw it on the list there. Harley Keeble making his Pro Shifter debut, joining the karting collective on the SodiKart. So going back to the SodiKart roots, he's been doing a lot of driver coaching with Jay Howard Driver Development. So that'll be a story we'll kind of cover in the Paddock Insider on Friday.
Like it.
And then Dion van Werven, the Dutch driver, is joining Carbolos Racing Engines on the SodiKart. So a little bit of the Dutch connection with Kremers and the SodiKart connection there with Adrian Renaudin under the Carbolos Racing Engines tent. So quite an interesting combo. So we're going to have to talk to Dion a little bit about that.
Funny, Dave, just I got started listening to your most recent hot seat, and I'm thinking about the 2 drivers that have been your most recent hot seat shows, those podcasts, Adrian Renaudin, and I'm listening to the one right now of Kyle Wicks. So both those drivers, although not in the championship contention, Renaudin did not run the opening rounds. I like the fact that that both those drivers, I think, could be in the fight for the race win as well, even though they're not in the championship contention. I've got to talk about Adrian and Kyle as guys that could potentially come out and win this.
Yeah, Adrian was at USBKS for the Newcastle round, so he's got lap times again there, a race there at the Summer Nationals last year. I don't know where he finished, but yeah, he knows the racetrack now. Definitely going to be contender. He was right there with Musgrave for the majority of the weekend. Again, the contact in that skirmish that they had with Marcus Kayak was kind of the defining factor of getting Musgrave that victory there. But yeah, him there. And then, yeah, Kyle Wick, again, finished second to Formal last year, nearly pulled off the victory. So, yeah, when I talked to him in the hot seat, he was excited about going back to Newcastle. Knows he's fast there. It's funny. I sent him a video clip from 10 years ago, him and Wesley Boswell doing a lead follow during practice day in S2 when he was back with RPG.
Yeah. Wow. I like that. Good stuff. All right. Don't count out Jacob Gulick. We talked about a number of drivers in the GFC camp. I wouldn't count him out at all. Josh Conker as well, although he doesn't get the track time that the other top drivers do. He's always been in the hunt. There's a couple of drivers there as well. And then maybe local driver Eli Fox as well. David, you got some local knowledge there for Eli. He's always been kind of quick at Newcastle. We could see him sneaking his way into the top 10 as well.
Yeah, it was fast at USBKS. So if they can get everything kind of put together and get the racing luck on their side, they could be there too.
There you have it. All right, let's go into Pro X30 presented by Nash Motorsports. 33 pre-registered drivers thus far. Joe Turney and Gus Lawrence have scored victories on the season. Turney with 3 wins. Puts him at 147 points up on Lawrence. Paulie Massimino sitting third in points, backed by about another 15. Jake Drew, who's recently moved to Rawlson Performance Group P4, but significantly back, as is Diego Ramos. Both those drivers over 400 points back, so very likely coming down to another 3-driver battle. But David, Turney's just on such a roll right now. You got to expect that knowing how he approaches a race weekend like this, he's likely going to come away with the championship.
Yeah, 2023 double winner at Newcastle. I believe that was his last time at the SummerNationals when he did come away with the championship that year. So with 3 wins already in his bag, everybody's going to need something really bad to happen both days.
Well, with a drop too, right? So
yeah, that's why I said it's going to have to be both days, which you've never seen that happen with Joe Turney.
No,
so not. Yeah, I mean, essentially everybody's racing for second or victory. That's you're probably going to see some bold moves. I was going to
say, yep.
Turney's probably going to play it smart, which I would. Again, you're going long term. You want the championship. It'd be nice if he can clinch it with a win on Saturday and then let things unravel on Sunday, because then we'll see just guys. But again, drivers racing for top 10 as well too. So there's a lot to kind of consider in that, where some guys maybe are going to be playing for, hey, I just need to get top 10 and get my entry fees paid for next year. But you look at 5th through 10th in the championship standings and are only separated by 150 points. So a lot can happen. Drivers, the top 13 in points are in the on the entry list. So any of those 13 drivers can be in the top 10 in the championship.
Yeah, and so many. We talk about the drivers we've mentioned so far, but there's Oliver Hodgson as well. Still Ruben Moya, Blake Nash, James Overbeck, Jesus Vasquez Jr., Donovan Bonilla, David. So many fantastic drivers still in this group here.
Yeah, you have Lawrence, Massimino, Drew, and Ramos in the top 5 in the championship. Hodgson, Roberts, Overbeck, Moya, who missed a round in Tucson, is still sitting 9th in the championship. So that's essentially his drop. So you could see him move up the points massively. And then Blake Nash there sitting in 10th in the championship. So that's your top 10 going in. Again, drop race to consider. So a lot of things going to be shuffling with those top 13 drivers throughout the weekend.
You've got a couple notes here, which I love. Caleb Gufera is coming to run up as well. Jose Alejandro Halfin, Eric Doan, I think drivers to mention. But David, listen, where did Andre Nicastro come from? I love the fact that he keeps coming back to play. Good stuff.
He does. I think he did shifter at Tucson, if I recall correctly. I think he was in the shifter category at Tucson. But yeah, he just continues to come back, Unlike David Serra, he still has the gumption to go race. And,
What year was that? What year was that?
Nicastro obviously has the Supernats title to his credit on that. Let me look up the year for that. Somebody was just talking to me about that year.
Battle back and forth. Sarah's closing up on Nicastro for the race win.
2010,
16 years ago. My goodness. Yeah, they get together. Essentially contact at the line, the drag race.
Closest finish in Super Nationals history by 1,000th of a second.
1,000th of a second. There you go. But good to see Andre Nicastro back. He'll be running with Rawls and Performance Group, the Brazilian former Super Nats winner. Caden McQueen as well. Is he back with Velocity Racing? Looks like, Dave. Running with Velocity this weekend. Caden McQueen.
Yeah, he's their lead driver.
He's their lead guy. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. He'll be double duty. Yeah.
Let's. How about a couple of young ladies in the field too? Love that. Love to see Peyton Anderson stepping up to run. And then Hannah Greenmeyer. I love that too.
Yeah, Hannah Greenmeyer, former Pro Tour champion, coming back, and she's actually going to be running under the Speed Concepts racing tent.
Okay.
So that's a change. I think she's taking over for the Macy Williams spot, as Williams is not in the field this weekend. So she's essentially taking over that position. No Phil DeLeo and no Josh Sarge in the KA Masters. So instead of wrenching and driver coaching those guys, she's going to get back behind the wheels. So
I love it. Yeah.
Good to see. Again, an off weekend for her. So that, she normally is in the sports car program. So it's not like she's just jumping out of nowhere to get back behind the wheel.
And she spends a lot of time behind the wheel of the cart in Phoenix. She's living in Phoenix now, right? I believe.
Yeah.
And working with Josh and DeLeo, and she's behind the wheel a lot. They're doing lead follows, they're battling each other. So she's definitely in karting shape, and cool that she's coming off a pole position as well up at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in her GT ride. So I'm really excited to see Hannah continue to succeed at that level. She's a talented driver, and we've had the luck of being able to watch her come up through the ranks for sure.
And Anderson coming back to karting. She's been doing a lot of the. Sorry, I'm getting adjusted here. Doing a lot of the open wheel stuff last year, the ladder system, and then got into the F1 Academy in 2026. I haven't been quite following her.
That's Peyton Westcott. This is Peyton Anderson.
Oh my God.
That's right.
Yes, you're right.
I got you.
Wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. No, she's been winning all. I'll get you dialed in.
My lack of sleep, Rob. It's been 5 hours of sleep. So
yeah, you said that. You didn't get it until 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah. So Peyton Anderson making the jump up from junior ranks.
There you go.
To the senior ranks. There we go for the Utah driver. My mistake. I was thinking the other one.
Yeah. And has been having some success as well. Peyton Anderson has really stepped things up, and I like this. I'm interested to see how she does this weekend.
Yeah, and again, working with new driver coach Jake Drew under the Rollison Performance Group tent. Working alongside Donovan Bonilla, former Super Nationals winner as well. Gus Lawrence, so a lot to kind of. I mean, she's been with the tent before, so she's worked with a lot of these driver coaches before. Agreed. But now she's going to be racing against them, which will be quite different. So
we'll see, folks. Joe Turney looking very good coming into the weekend here in this Pro X30 category. Again, things can change, but with a drop race in hand, Turney in a very good position over Lawrence and Massimino. Off to our next break. When we get back, we'll look at KA Senior, X30 Junior, and KA Junior as well. A new way to compete in fast, reliable, and affordable racing is taking over the globe. The Tillotson Racing T4 concept is building momentum around the world, and it's expanding in the United States under the T4 Series USA operation. The T4 Series kart package is a spec class program featuring the spec Tillotson chassis, Tillotson engine, and spec Maxxis T4 tires that move the emphasis away from budget and onto driver. The T4 Series USA is working with kart tracks across the country, including the home-based T4 Kartplex, Orlando Kart Center, Music City Kartplex, and Lorain, Ohio Kartplex. The Texas Sprint Racing Series has signed on to offer the T4 Senior category this season, along with the T4 SoCal program that's already established. The T4 Series Eastern Cup is a 3-race program traveling to Tennessee, Ohio, and Florida this year, while the Florida Karting League Championship is set to host T4 categories in 2026. The new T4 America's Cup is a cooperation with T4 Series Mexico, and the program will feature a 2-race championship format for Tillotson Racing. Throughout the season, Tillotson racers will be competing for a ticket to compete at the coveted T4 Nations Cup, which is set for September 30th to October 4th at the Cartodromo Internacional Lucas Guerrero in Valencia, Spain. To learn more, head to T4SeriesUSA.com. History, success, family. Those are the three words that can describe Comet Kart Sales, one of the longest tenured karting businesses in the United States. The family-owned operation located just outside of Indianapolis has provided karts, parts, and services for thousands of racers in the near 6 decades of business. Their online store features everything you need, continually adding new parts to their product line. From full karting packages, new engines, spare or replacement parts, and safety gear, find it all at CometKartSales.com. Their Comet Racing Engine service has won multiple major events and championships over decades of karting and continues to offer the best trackside service in the industry, specializing in IAME X30, IAME Swift, and other 2-cycle power plants. Make sure to head to CometKartSales.com or call them at 317-462-3413 to be part of the Comet Kart Sales family today. Welcome back to this edition of the OutLap. Rob Howden alongside David Cole as we preview this coming weekend Superkarts USA Pro Tour Summer Nationals, final round of this year's Pro Tour at Newcastle Motorsports Park. Let's have a look at the KA100 Senior category presented by Kart CRG USA, and the striking number, just 29 entries. You go back, we've had 50 plus in this category. Very odd to see only 29 in KA Senior here this weekend. Winners on the season so far, Paulie Massimino, Ruben Moya, and Diego Ramos. This has given Massimino a 175-point lead coming into the weekend over Chase Hand, who sits P2. Cade McQueen in third, Ramos fourth, Moya fifth. Massimino and Hand, the two drivers really in it, I guess. But Massimino very, very strong. 175 points, David. Do you look at that as being a point lead that Paulie could ride through to the championship?
I think so. It's more than Turney has going into the weekend. You look at Massimino's drop is a fourth. Yeah, right. So again, yeah, I've not seen any issues on the KA side with Brandon Jarzakrak Racing. So yeah, it's pretty much his to lose. And with a smaller field, Rob, doesn't provide the better opportunities for those chasing like Chase Hand and Caden McQueen. Agreed. And Diego Ramos in the championship. So
even a DNF could be 29th and not 45th.
Yeah.
Right? So
again, there's less points to lose, which is a weird term to say, but it's true. But yeah, Massimino's, like I said, finished top four, all 4 rounds. He's won at Newcastle already in KA at USPKS. So yeah, it's I don't want to say it's a done deal, but things are looking good. Yeah,
you're going in with an understanding of, hey, round 5 Saturday, this is what I need to do. And we know Paulie's going to go for the race win anyways, but it's hey, if you bag a 4, even a top 5, he's probably going to win the championship. So
I would say, yeah, for sure, top 5 finish. Yeah,
and a veteran driver like Paulie is going to be able to understand that, take the pressure off, go have some fun on Sunday. But a number of other drivers, David, very likely into this one. I mentioned that Caleb Gaffera with Holtz Driver Development is going to do double duty again. You've got Eli Warren, a local driver. He's for Holtz as well. Very strong at MCC, and now he comes back to his home track. Eli Warren could be one to watch this weekend.
Yeah, it definitely could be. He's one to watch. Like I said, you got Hand, McQueen, Ramos in the top 4 there in the championship. Ruben Moya coming back along with was it Moya that one? Yeah, Moya won the second round after sitting out the first round. You just mentioned Gaffera. Jackson Gibson sitting in 7th in the championship, not on the entry list. So he's the only one out of the top 10 not on the entry list, as you have Isaac Malkit, Matthew Cagle, who's just coming off, I believe, a good finish at Champions of the Future. And then Edgar Rodriguez, another Brandon Jarzakrak Racing driver right there. So, again, it's a lot of different drivers that will be in the mix, even though the field's a little bit lower.
Yeah, Donovan Bonilla with Rawlson Performance Group, McGabriel, AEM Karting is back. Of course, a couple of Rawlson Performance Group drivers we mentioned already, but Jose Halfin in there as well. Colin Lloyd, last driver I've got highlighted here, David, on my spreadsheet here for Holtz driver development. Holtz has got three bullets in the gun with Gaffera and Warren alongside Lloyd. So those are three drivers that I think could be in the top 10, if not top 5, and battling for a race win. It's a shorter field, but it's still going to be exciting up front.
Yeah, Lloyd on his third team in 2026 was with Nash for a weekend, and then now has joined Holtz Driver Development. So he raced with them, I believe, Stars Weekend at MCC. So it already has a race with them under his belt. But yeah, those are definitely drivers to talk about. And Bonilla making his KA debut in 2026, as he wasn't at Tucson or MCC in KA.
Let's go to X30 Junior, presented by Rawlson Performance Group. 26 drivers in the field. Thus far, it has been Travis Pettit and Ashton Woon. Those two drivers among the top junior drivers in the country right now. They are separated by just 12 points, David. This is not one of those ones where a driver is going to be able to potentially manage his way to a championship. This is going to be an all-out brawl. Tristan Murphy back in third spot with 214. But Pettit versus Woon this weekend for sure. Just 12 points separate those drivers. This is going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah, that's going to be the focus in this category when you got both drivers with 2 wins. So tiebreakers are going to be very key, possibly towards the end, where you got, let's see, Woon has a third place, while Pettit does not have another podium finish. So that would be the tiebreaker. So if they were to tie at the end of the weekend, based on, say, split wins over the weekend, Woon would have the tiebreaker as he has the next best finish.
All right. So Tristan Murphy, as I said, 214 back. Maxwell Macha, 288. Nathan Goldsmith, 357. David, give me some insight on Nico Katowski not being on the grid.
Yeah, I have none. Other than we've been told by Trinity Karting Group team owner Sean Bailiff that the Katowski brothers have been suspended for 3 months. That includes both Nico and Jack Katowski, along with some TKG crew members and the parent for the Katowskis as well. Right. So nothing official from Superkarts USA, unfortunately. So I guess you can make up what you want.
That kind of caught us off guard. So that's something.
Yeah, we'll try and get more official wording. It's very tough to do that over texting this morning. And Superkarts offered no statement regarding the suspension. So we'll try and kind of narrow that down so there's less rumors and more information, because again, that's part of this. Again, we want, again, I think as a sport and a community, you want to kind of hold people liable for what they do. So we heard there was some kind of skirmish going on at MCC, but we have hearsay, not full exact details. So
caught me off guard. I didn't know about it. So
it'd be nice to know.
Yeah, indeed. A number of drivers, in addition to those that we've talked about already in the top 5 that I think will be in championship position, or not championship, but race winning position this weekend, because there have been some drivers that have stepped up in a pretty big way. Royce Vega for Ryan Perry Motorsports this weekend. You've got Braden Wagner stepped up. Marco Sammet as well. I think all 3 of those drivers, David, that we'll be watching up front.
Yeah, very many of the same people we've seen all season long up front. Just a matter of, can they beat out Pettit or Woon for the victory?
And Grayson Walcott, we talked a lot about him kind of stepping forward for Rawlson Performance Group, David. Last race I was at, of course, was the SCUSA Spring Nats at MCC, but Grayson was right in the middle of the fight there. Looked nice to see him get the opportunity to then step forward into the race, the race battles up front. And really, he impressed me at MCC.
Yeah, we'll see if he can continue that momentum going on for the rest of the season.
All right, lots more drivers in that category as well. We'll see a lot of them doing double duty as we'll move into KA 100 Junior here as well, presented by TKG Barrel Art USA. 33 drivers in KA Junior. They win so far: Nicholas Orbezo, Ashton Woon, and Marco Sammet. A couple of wins, as we know. Big Spring Nationals for Sammet, although he's not in the chip. Did he miss the first rounds, or have a lot of issues in the first rounds?
I'm sorry, say that again.
For Sammet, Marco Sammet, because he's not in the top 5 in points. What happened to him at the Winter Nats?
In my notes, that's what I was going to talk about. Is he didn't race this class. So he decided to do double duty at MCC.
Copy that.
And ended up winning the 2 races at MCC. So, so he's back in this category. He's going to run it again this weekend. But yeah, he had never been a double duty driver. He'd already been X30 and only X30.
There you go. Well, this one, folks, is probably one of the tighter championships, if not the tightest. Four drivers within 64 points in the championship. Tristan Murphy leads the way right now based on a strong, consistent 4 race run so far. Ashton Woon has one win. He sits in second. No victories for Travis Pettit, but still there in third with 51 points back. Nathan Goldseth is only 64 points back. And even Colton Schniegenberg back there at 109 points, not totally out of it. But David, at least 4 drivers in the fight here. This will be a battle throughout the entire weekend.
Yeah, this is what you expect to see with this category. And again, what we thought we were going to see in KA Senior, but unfortunately not. So it's going to be every point matters, every session matters, every lap and every position is going to matter. So that's going to be kind of the focus in this division.
Yeah, the pole positions are always crucial, folks. Big points up for pole. Again, Murphy, Woon, Pettit, Goldseth, and Schniegenberg, the top drivers in the category. David, you want to go through? Is there anybody else you want to mention here in KA Junior?
Cameron Johnson, 6th in the points. Nico Orbezo, our round 1 winner, sitting 7th in the championship. Didn't quite have a good MCC weekend. Braden Wagner, 8th. Alex Chandler, 9th. And then Nico Katoski, who we just mentioned, will not be there. He sits 10th. Marco Salmon is actually 11th after his 2 victories and only 2 rounds of racing. So he'll move up into the top 10 likely. Again, factoring in the drop, could be even maybe closer to the top 5 there. Who knows? But anything can happen. Again, 33 entries, so it's still a good size field. I don't think they're going to start 3 wide, Rob. That would not be good.
About that, I don't think it's going to happen. The Indy 500 reference, of course. All right, folks, let's go to another break. When we get back, let's wrap things up with this edition of the OutLap. We'll look at KA Master, Media Micro Swift, as we kick off our coverage of this coming weekend Superkarts USA Pro Tour Summer Nationals. Parolin is among the winningest brands in the USA and around the world. The Parolin Le Mans full-size chassis for junior and senior classes and the Parolin Opportunity model for cadet divisions have earned success weekend after weekend at all the major championships and events in both the USA and throughout Europe. The Parolin chassis lineup also includes the Invader Shifter, along with the Daytona 4-cycle chassis and the Delfino Kid Kart. Karters can head to the ParolinUSA.com website where the entire chassis line and parts are available to you, with shipping available all across North America. Parolin USA partners with several companies and race teams across the country to provide a strong dealer network to represent the brand locally and at the national level to support drivers throughout North America. Get on the chassis that's winning. Drive a Parolin. Fast, fair, and fun. Ignite Karting offers you all of that at an affordable price. Ignite Karting utilizes the spec Margay Ignite K3 chassis with a Briggs & Stratton 206 engine and the Hoosier R80 tire. Everyone in the rookie, junior, senior, heavy, and masters classes compete on the same Ignite K3 chassis, which puts all the emphasis squarely on driver development. Additionally, Ignite Karting is accessible at the local, regional, and national level. Special events for the season include the Ignite Majors that begin with the annual trip to the Daytona International Speedway as part of the WKA Daytona Kart Week, running in both the sprint and road racing events. Those in the Midwest can enjoy the regionally based Ignite Challenge, featuring 5 iconic facilities. Local club programs have also been established in states all across the country, Idaho to Texas, Nebraska to New York, with more tracks and clubs joining the Ignite Karting program. Be part of fast, fun, and great memories with Margay Racing at an Ignite track near you. All information on Ignite events and Ignite Kart packages, including dealers in your area, are available at ignitekarting.com. Get off the couch and onto the track this year. Ignite Karting. Fuel your passion. Welcome back. Final segment here of the EKN OutLap, our preview podcast, all part of our EKN Trackside coverage of the SummerNats this coming weekend at Newcastle. It is, again, July the 21st. Rob Howden, David Cole here for you. Dave, we'll start things off with KA Master, presented by Mint Motorsports. Not a lot to talk about. Only 4 entries on the weekend, and not the championship leader. Phil DeLeo, who scored both wins at the Winter Nationals at Tucson, battled that with Mario Barrios at the Spring Nationals. DeLeo not making the trek out with Josh Charchet, who sits in third in points. So Barrios will be the point leader coming in. And to be honest, at this point, Barrios will be able to just kind of ride it through to the championship.
Yeah, that's it. Barrios will earn the championship. He was the champion. Let me look it back here. When we did have the category, was he wasn't the champion. Thought he was, Tag Master champion. Sorry, 2022 and 2021. So that was when in the X30 category. So it'll be a 3-time Pro Tour champion. Yeah,
so there you have it, folks. Let's go to Mini Swift right now, presented by Mega Power Engines. 20 drivers in the Mini Swift category. Mason Brody, Francisco, and Stoffel, the drivers getting wins on the season. Not surprising. They are in that fight there as well. Dutch Westbrook, though, David, is the point leader based on better consistency throughout the 4 races so far. Mason Brody up into the second spot. Brody Stoffel in third. Jake Manalio fourth. And Lucas Tarango in the 5th position. Let's have a look at the actual lineup for drivers. There's only 20 here. What are the big notables of drivers who are here or are not here?
Drivers who will not be or are not on the entry list include Forrest Blair sitting 7th in the championship, Max Santana sitting 8th, and Jaden Francisco, winner at the round 3 of this program, not on the entry list. He sits 10th in the championship after only 2 rounds of racing for him. So,
Forrest Blair actually jumping up to KA Junior this weekend, David. I just picked that up here on the thing. I looked at his name. He's moving up with Brandon Jarsakrak for this weekend to junior.
Oh, there you go. That would explain it why.
There you have it. All right, let's wrap things up here with Micro Swift, presented by Grupo Santana Vega. 26 entries, 4 winners on the season. Let's see if we can continue that streak. Francisco, Sanders, Wyatt, and Sullivan all scoring wins to start off the season. Bo Wyatt. Is it Bo Wyatt or Aston Wyatt? Is it Bo or
Bo?
Bo Wyatt is the driver who is the point leader coming in. 82 points between he and Trey Sanders. Francisco back by 159. So very likely, David, feels like another 2-driver scrap here.
Unless Francisco can come through with a dominating weekend,
which is not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, he has a drop race in round 4, where he had only a DNF or a bad finish. It was only 46 points in the final. So you factor the drop in on that. It brings him closer into the mix. Again, I haven't done my Excel sheet yet, so I haven't really kind of looked at it that way. But looking at it from this viewpoint, it's 3 drivers in the fight. Francisco could come through. He swept the weekend at USPKS, won all. Was in the lead all sessions, qualifying to the main event. So if he's able to sweep one of the rounds, say round 5 on Saturday, puts him right back into the mix, or double up a sweep, it puts him at the championship. So
Shep Sullivan back in fifth spot with his win in round number 4 at MCC, 213 points. That's a big ask.
It's a big ask. Yeah. If you were to ask me, I would say Katowski would be the 5th different winner, but he won't be there. So
that's right.
When you look at possible winners, Dusty Strayer moving over with Speed Concepts Racing on the Nitro kart. He's 6th in the championship. So he could be a winner. Privateer Carson Bishop on the Nitro kart has been showing really well. So he sits 8th. He could be a driver to watch as well too.
We've talked a lot about, because I know this because you've struggled with his name, Liam Compatiello. We've had to talk about him, right? So that's there. Kip Knaus seems to be coming on a little bit stronger here now as well. Did he not have a pretty solid run at USPKS?
I don't believe so. Not off the top of my head that I recall. I mean, not a podium, not a top 5, I don't believe, but maybe a top 10 finish.
All right.
So again, the micro division is all about learning and figuring this all out.
100%.
We saw Katowski sweep at the Winter Nationals or Winter Series, and now it's multiple drivers in the mix. As you said, 4 different winners over 4 rounds. So lots of drivers stepping up. Like we saw Sullivan who got the victory on a penalty, but got his first Pro Tour victory. Wyatt getting his first Pro Tour victory. Sanders getting one. Francisco back at Tucson round. So again, anything can happen in this category.
And I think you're right. This is one of those ones where the development is very, very quick, right? Some drivers are really getting into it, get quick. They're driving so much. They're on track so much. I think at the start of the season, you and I both said that Katowski looked like he was going to be the guy to beat all year long. And all of a sudden, everybody else started stepping up by the time we got to the middle of the season. So there's a lot of drivers that are going to continue to find some more speed here throughout the year in the Micro Swift category. So we may see yet another winner. 4 different victors so far in the 4 races. I don't know that we'll get 6, but that would be very cool to see a couple more drivers come away with their first wins. David, final thoughts before we wrap up this edition of the OutLap?
SummerNats, it's here. It's time to crown some champions. I got some Excel spreadsheet work to do.
Spreadsheet time.
It's spreadsheet time. That's what I love doing that, because that's that Saturday night, especially when you're starting factoring the drops, looking at everything. It's exciting to kind of see how things shape up and set up for Championship Sunday.
And how about good weather too? Like we're looking, high 70s, low 80s. It's going to get warmer throughout the weekend, but right now it's looking like we're going to see sun all weekend long, nicer temps. Hopefully the humidity will be down a little bit, but again, back to the home of the SummerNationals, Newcastle Motorsports Park. It's been there for the last many years. And again, that event, July 24th, 25th, 26th, this coming weekend. Cars will hit the track on Thursday for practice. We'll be there on Friday. We'll start the Paddock Insider. We'll start bringing you some information there Friday morning and throughout the entire weekend. David, of course, with all the coverage, top 10s, the winner interviews, victory scale line videos as well. David, should be a good weekend to cap off the 17th running of the 17th edition of the SCUSA Pro Tour. It all started back in 2010.
Yeah, and again, with the nicer weather, hopefully tempers will be a lot cooler than we've seen in the past.
That's true enough. All right, folks, that wraps things up for this edition of the EKN OutLap. Again, our coverage all weekend long here at ekartingnews.com of the SCUSA Pro Tour SummerNationals as we cap off another season of SCUSA Pro Tour Racing. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We do appreciate it. On behalf of David Cole, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.